Okay, this video here is going to be for the drilling. Right now we're going to fit the thimbles when I have to drill. The first thing we want to do, I've been checked this thimble here for fitting in the wood, and it fits really good, just a little tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stone and I'm just going to kind of polish out the tool marks where it'll fit, you know, snug but not too snug. And how that's done, you just put it in your vise and you just basically follow the same contour, basically like we did the butt plate earlier. And it ain't got to be perfect. Just want to take it down to that way we know we ain't going to have no splitting of the wood. Just follow the same angle. Okay, so now what we've done is we've put our thimble into the stock here. We're getting set up to drill this. We done smoothed out the tool marks. Fits rather nicely now. So what we're going to do is we're going to get it in position where we want it on the stock. Then I'm going to put a clamp on it. First I'm going to clamp it up in the vise, and then we'll go over our drilling procedure. And basically what I'm doing right now is I'm just making sure everything's level. That way when we go drill a hole, it'll be nice and precise. And the way this thing here is set up, I can move it around. And I done pre-marked where I wanted that. So right there is where we're going to drill it, and it's going to go down in there. Of course, we're going to put our clamp on it. Okay, now we're ready to drill the stock to accept the thimble. We've got everything all clamped up in here like so. Got our 7/64 bit in, is the size we need for this right here. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and drill it. We're going to drill through the wood into the brass, just the top part of the brass, not clean through. And we'll go ahead and get that done. What we've done is we've put us a little clamp here with some wood blocks to ensure that we didn't damage anything on our clamp. So let's go ahead and get that done. And there we have it. And what we're probably going to have to do is we're going to have to take this screw right here and we're going to screw it into the wood. Okay, we're over here at the other vise now. The 7/64 bit was basically a pallet bit. It drilled us a nice pallet hole in there. But what we're going to do is we moved up to an 1/8 of an inch bit, and we're going to use a hand drill. Now that we've got our pallet hole drilled in there, it's ensured it's going to go straight, and that's going to open it up big enough to accept this screw here. First we'll start by drilling the hole in our thimble. Then we'll just go through our stock. Now we'll just go ahead and countersink the hole. I'm going to go ahead and pre-screw the screw in the hole. Okay, now we're ready to set our screw in the front thimble. And what you may have to do, unless you have a self-tapping screw, you may have to drill it first and then tap it. I think it's about like an 840 size is the size of this screw. The screw may be just a tad smaller, but it isn't enough to make a difference. So about an 840 is what the thread is on this particular screw here. And we're not all the way through. We've got plenty of room for our guide rod to go through there. Okay, now what we're going to do now is we're going to put our second thimble on. And basically it's all common sense. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn it over. And we want to be careful when we put this one on because we've got some barrel wedges that need to go in, and that's what's going to hold your barrel on. We've got two of them. We've got a recess cut out right here, and we got one back here obviously. And we don't want to mess around and put our barrel thimble where that recess is. So I'm just going to kind of turn it over. I know about where the barrel recess is, and I'm going to make sure I don't put it on the barrel recess. And I'm going to say about right there. And I took my pencil and I put a little mark right there. Let's turn it over again. Find my mark. Just put me a little indentation right here with a pencil, right dead center of that. And that's where my hole is going to go for the second barrel thimble. And we'll go over to the drill press and we'll get this drilled. Now we're in the drill press. We've already determined where we want our hole. I just thought I'd throw this out there. You want to make sure that when you're drilling your holes, you want to make sure they're precise. So I guess the best way to do that is to use a level. Put it in the vise similar to this one. Set your level, you know, in the channel of your rifle stock. And just make sure it's level. And go this way right here with it. And make sure that the bubble's, you know, precise where it needs to be with that. And this particular setup I've got right here on this particular drill press right here, it's just a vise basically mounted on a piece of wood with a clamp that holds it. It's kind of a simple setup. And you can just maneuver that way you want it. Then just take your clamp and clamp it back. A nice, cheap, economical way to build you a nice drill press vise. Then we'll just go ahead and drill it. There's our pilot hole. Might as well go ahead and put that 1/8 of an inch bit in while we got it over here. What I'm going to do is I've done got my 1/8 of an inch hole drilled. So what I'm going to do with this right here, I guess the simplest way to make sure that it's going to stick through there where you want it to and not go clean through, is go ahead and screw the screw in there. I believe that's got it. I think what I might do is go down just a little bit more to ensure that we got a good hold on that. Like I said, we don't want to keep forcing it with the screw because we don't want to strip out our thread. So I'm going to do the right thing and take it out and just countersink it just a little bit more. That way I'll know that we got a good bite and we ain't got to worry about stripping out the threads on the thimble. Okay, now we're getting ready to fit our barrel tenons. And how that's done, you just want to kind of turn your barrel upside down and you'll be drifting these tenons from right to left, and we'll be using a dowel rod such as this one right here. And basically what we want to do is we want to kind of do what they call basically a dry run, just basically see how tight it is, and we can see that is pretty tight. So what we'll do is we'll get us a sheet of 150 grit sandpaper and we'll put it on our bench. Staple it down, tape it, whatever's easiest for you. In my particular case, I'm just going to lay it flat, and we'll lay the tenon flat down like that, and we'll just kind of go a figure 8 motion, keeping the bottom of the tenon flat against it. Just now getting our final fit on the first barrel tenon. And what you may have to do, I just kind of wanted to throw this in as a gunsmith tip. you may want to invest in a dovetail file. Brownell sells different ones. Smooth on two sides and rough on one side, and basically what I use it for is just kind of clean the bottom of the tenon up to make sure that you know, it's cut straight, and that way when we go to put it on our dovetail cut in the bottom of the barrel, we can ensure a smooth fit. And I believe that's got it. There we go. There's the first one. Same procedure on the second one. Okay, here's a good way to determine where to drill your hole for your tenons. This is just good old common sense right here. You know, it's a no-brainer thing. Just make sure your barrel is seated all the way down in there, which is what we've done. Take you a pencil with a sharp point on it and draw your line on your barrel all the way across there. Then just take and pull your barrel out. Okay, lay it over on its side. Before we do that, what we want to do is we want to make sure that we mark where our tenon is. Put a little mark up the top there, and I did that on both sides. And then I put a little mark on my stock. That way there's no mistake in it. We know exactly where the tenon is because we've marked it. We've seen it with our own eyes. So after I've scored, put a line across the top of that, my next step's going to be to do a little measuring. And what I've done is I've took a caliber. This is just a layman's easy way of doing it. And I'll just take and I'll put that on the top of that mark that I draw. Then I'll just look at it and go center ways of the tenon. Then I'll take my tape measure. And it measures 11/16. And that's where we need to drill our hole for the tenon, right there. So if we'll put that in our drill press, clamp the barrel so it don't come out, we're probably going to put some tape around it. That way we know it'll be in place. And we'll drill, we'll take our level and all, we'll make sure that's leveled up. We can drill through the wood, the tenon, and back through the other side of the wood. Okay, a lot of these jobs are just good old common sense. For instance, we're fixing to drill a hole, 2 holes for our barrel tenons. And what I'm going to do is, the best thing to do, the layman's terms way of putting this, is just take the pin you're going to use and just get you some drill bits and just basically match them up. And you want to make one, you want to drill a hole maybe just a shade bigger than the pin. I mean, not much at all. What I always do is I just take a caliber, you know, put it on there like that, and then I'll just take the pin, and that's perfect right there. It's just big enough. So that right there lets me know, just common sense, you know, the size drill bit I'm going to need for this particular job. Okay. All right, now we've got everything all set up and leveled up. Now we're ready to start our drilling procedure. And what we want to do, we want to put a little bit of tape on the other side. And basically what that's going to do is keep our wood from splintering. So I'll do that right now. Here we go. Take it slow, no hurry. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this out and go over there and check our work. and then we'll get set up for the second operation, which is drilling the front part. Okay, there's the back ones drilled. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing on the front one and get it drilled, and then our tenant drilling will be done. Okay, now our next step is going to be put the end cap on, and that's what it looks like. And like we did our butt plate and our other parts, we'll take our stone and we'll kind of slick it up on the inside right here. This is the part that's going to make contact with the barrel. So we'll just kind of slick it up a little bit, get the casting marks smoothed down. Just want to hold it level and let the stone do the cutting. You could use a file doing this, no more than we got to cut down though. In this particular situation, your kit may have more casting marks in there, but this one here doesn't have a lot, so I feel we can use this stone and get our results that we need without having to do a lot of heavy cutting. And you just want to take enough out to where the barrel will lay in there. That's probably about enough, and we'll have to fit the tenon or the end cap on the end of the barrel. I'm going to go ahead and pull the barrel out of the wood. And what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to fit our end cap onto the end of the wood here, which it basically is pretty much already fit in this particular case. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to mark it, and then we'll have to drill our holes. Ready? Yeah. Okay, now we're going to fit our end cap on. I'm going to kind of go over this with you and kind of show you an idea how to drill the holes. First thing you want to do is you want to look at this front part right here. That's where your barrel's going to sit down in. And what I done is I draw me a little mark right there, dead center of that straight line down right here. And I put me a little index mark right there. Then I'm going to take me a little level. Make sure I set that down on there flat. Then I'm just going to draw me a line. And that's going to tell me that's going to give me the determination of where I need to drill my 2 holes that's going to go in there. And then we'll go over to the drill press and we'll drill the holes. Okay, here we go. We're on our drill press here, and our drill press is level. And basically what I've done is I just drew a line there, dead center of that. And I've got a bit on here. And what it's going to do is just make my impressions where I want to drill my hole. If I start with a regular drill bit, what might happen is it might start walking on me, and we don't want that. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make my drill indentions first. Then I'm going to take this bit out and put the drill bit in, and then we can go on through with it. Most of the time it's a good idea to clamp it down, but in this particular case right here, I'm drilling it kind of slow, and it's brass, it's not steel, so it's a fairly soft metal. So now we've got the holes drilled. Now our next step is going to be to bevel them. I got the screw here, and you can see here how that's kind of sitting up in that. So I think I'm going to take advantage of the situation while I'm here at the drill press, and I'm going to replace my drill bit with the recess bit. A little at a time. And I'll take the screw and then I'll look at it. A little more off. What we're doing is we're custom fitting this recess for that screw, and that's about right there. Same procedure. Not too fast, just take it slow. So it looks like that. Okay, our next step of the drilling operation is to drill the hole for the trigger assembly. It's basically done like we did on the front end cap. Just basically center it up. And that concludes our drilling video. Our next step's the wood shaping video.